Sì? Ah, I understand.
Mai? Io, solo io.
La storia non passa.
La storia? Ma non vedi così, eh?
Geography tells our guests.
Oh, our guests today. They are two. Dos. Ichi, ni.
Non so contare.
Non sai contare, ma perché sei un ignorante.
Io? Sì,
Sì, sono ignorante. So, today, my friends, everybody, hello. I am Zanni Durazzini, and today we have two amazing guests. Another two wonderful women. Ooh, I'm so excited that I cannot wait to introduce.
Ciao a tutti alla Commedia in quarantena. Thank you everyone. Our 11th.
The TH, Emanuele.
E quindi ci prendiamo un po' di vacanza e poi ci rivediamo il 19, credo?
Sì, vero.
Con una puntata, con un episodio con Mario Pirovano. Dico bene?
Yeah, August 19.
Mm-hmm.
But let's speak about today because I'm so excited.
I'm excited too. And yeah, because we have two guests. So the first one, and we will talk about later, when we started Pazzi Lazzi, we started to post one of her video. And and we will talk about later. So the first one is Didi Hopkins.
Didi Hopkins. Hello, Didi. Ciao. Nice to meet you.
And the second guest is Cristina Coltelli.
Cristina Knives? Oh, mamma mia. Oh, ciao Cristina.
Ciao Cristina. Ciao, grazie per essere alla Commedia in quarantena. Ora parliamo inglese, italiano, non si sa.
Yeah, we are gonna do a Gramlo, a mix of languages.
So, Didi has voice over artist, acting coach, actress, and directing television. You work also for the summer season of the National Theatre doing workshops. And Cristina Coltelli, you worked with masters such as Jacques Lecoq, Enrico Bonavera, Dario Fo, and Claudia Contin that you had La Commedia in Quarantena. Let's talk about later and about your shows, your workshop together. Chiara.
Yes. Okay. So I want to start with Didi because I'm very, very excited to meet her in person because we will talk later about the fact that when we founded Pazzi Lazzi in 2012 and then we opened the Facebook page Pazzi Lazzi, this one of our first posts was one of her fabulous YouTube videos.
Mm-hmm.
But reading, and we will go back to this concept a little bit later, but what I was wondering, reading your biography, Didi, is that you started as a classical musician.
I did.
So you were a classical musician and now you are a Commedia dell'Arte educator. What happened?
Yes, well, an amazing journey. But I started off playing the timpani and percussion, boom, 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 boom. And at the time, it was a very male-dominated section of the orchestra. It wasn't that long ago. I mean, it was some time ago, but, not hundreds of years. And certainly all of the brass and the percussion sections were men only. And because my name is Didi, I think sometimes they read my name as a boy's name. So when I went for auditions, sometimes the first thing they'd say was, "You're a girl," and I'd go, yeah. And they'd say things like, "Well, if you came to this university, this music college, you wouldn't get any work when you left." And I went, "Why not?" And they said, "Because all of the orchestras are men." And they said, "What will you do?" And I said, "Well, I'll form a women's orchestra." And it's like, that must have been like death, because I didn't get into any of the colleges. And, I'd been playing already 9 years, and, that was my life and my heart, and, was to make music with other people. So I went back to the college I'd been studying music. And my boyfriend at the time, who was a wild dancer, he said, "Why don't you join the drama department?" So I thought, well, I've got nothing better to do. I did the worst audition in the universe, and I spent 2 years being atrocious, but, discovering something about the community of theatre. So I just kind of crossed a bridge from music to theatre, because in Commedia, for me, there's so much rhythm. Every character is like a different kind of instrument, and the way that you run your characters and the scenarios on stage, it's as if there is like the Shakespearean iambic pentameter, a heartbeat, so that everybody is like a different instrument, and then they come together on the beginning beat. So I still play. I've started to play again. I own 4 of those big drums. And apart from the fact that there are no orchestras, I have been playing.
Wow.
Nice. Do you ever play as a character?
Often. So I will play as a character, and I will have a drum strapped around my waist like a big baby.
Fabulous.
Boom.
Boom, boom, boom. Big entrance, Didi? Big entrance.
Why do it small when you can do it big?
Yeah. No.
So, speaking of expression and physical gestures, you worked together recently in a workshop. You gave together on a workshop. Actually, we were talking about backstage. You met online. So during quarantine, okay. So there was an opportunity. So I have 1-2 questions for you. You can answer both. Was the first time you worked together? And speaking on live action, how did you engage your participants at the workshop in this virtual space? So
tell us also about this workshop, because we don't know much.
Didi, want to start?
Cristina and I met. It was like speed dating.
Ooh, picante, hot.
It's hot stuff, I tell you. This man in Israel, who I met 5 years ago, just phoned me up and he said, "I think that we should do a workshop together, and I love your work, and I love Christina's work, and you don't know her, but you're going to love her." And it was so true. Oh. So just the most amazing experience for me to meet somebody, not only somebody, but Christina, a woman, not just a woman, but an extraordinary woman, and to find that we come from the same, in our bones back here. Somehow we have some very similar thoughts about Commedia, even though we have a different pathway. And so it was like open heart surgery immediately.
Wow. That's awesome. Didi, may I ask you, before we go back to the workshop that we definitely want to know more, with whom did you study Commedia dell'Arte?
Carlo Bosso.
Okay. Yeah, ciao Carlo. We love you. We had him, Emanuele, a couple of times ago.
2 weeks ago.
I'll just say one thing about the working with Carlo, training with Carlo. I'd been doing a lot of theatre. I met him. I understood nothing. because he was working also with Stefano Di Pirocco, the mask maker. It was like somebody gave me drugs. I just got addicted.
That's awesome. And you, Cristina, with whom did you study Commedia dell'Arte? I know we said Claudia Contin, but Emanuele mentioned another couple of big names.
Yep. I basically studied with everybody at the time because everybody was telling out and loud that she was right. So I need to understand.
Nice. So you hold the truth.
I don't. I have a lot of more information.
Right, that's awesome. Okay, so let's go back to the workshop. Tell us the title, what it was about, and how did you manage to do it in quarantine?
Was pretty much.
Okay.
Cristina, bye.
Okay. Well, as Didi said, in the beginning when Han called me, my answer was, I think it's impossible, but I'm in. Because I trust you. That's so it was a matter of trusting. He trusted us, and he trusted we could do that, and that's what happened. We worked a lot, three months during the quarantine, trying to establish what we really wanted to do. That was the key, not to rush. And because everybody was started popping out with online stuff, which is absolutely understandable. I mean, here everybody was on the balcony with frame drums, with me included. But delivering pedagogy is something different. Physical theater is something different. And Commedia dell'Arte is already enough at risk about quality. We all know what we're talking about. So what we're going to do, I had already said no to a lot of things. But I trust Haim, and I immediately trust her when I saw her work. And I mean, I don't mind. I mean, you see quality when you see it. You recognize it. If you know where to watch it, and you don't need to ask anything more, then it's a matter of just putting the job over there. And as far as the students are concerned, so we worked a lot. What could we deliver really? What was really worthy?
Right.
That could be an added value. And so we do all agree that basically when you give Commedia dell'Arte workshop, you usually rush on the very first part.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because you don't have the time. So unless you are not working with specific students of a physical theater school, starting with a very specific pedagogy from the beginning that rise the level up, basically you really rush all the physical preparation, and even the kind of improvisation you start to do with your own body without even going into a canovaccio or something more complex, because it's all up, So we decided to work on that, even though we weren't sure that it would have worked. But we put a lot of attention into what to put in and how. We talked a lot about that, to be honest and concrete, especially to be honest. And we're delivering something, we believe in it. We're not, this is an added value. This is a bonus. It's not a malus because we are into COVID situation.
Yeah.
That. As far as keeping them focused is concerned, Didi?
Well, because we literally, I mean, I hadn't seen Cristina or Haim working before, so our attention to the screen and the students was like, looking at sort of, that was the most exhausting thing, because we also did each other's work. But the way that we kept them not entertained, but connected, was that they would put their cameras so that we could pin them, and we could watch them doing any of the exercises. And it was always, discover, experience, practice, show. So even if they showed just 30 seconds of something, that we got to see maybe 6 of them or sometimes 12 of them. So the idea was to always apply it, to take wherever they were starting from as an artist of different ages and disciplines, and with this extra focus of the comedic body or the sentient body, or a little bit of, mime and isolation movement. When they then put something together, how did they negotiate between what they wanted to do and use the work and the exercises we did with them? So it was very kind of evolutionary, that everybody started in a place where they could develop just a little bit more. And everybody felt very rich at the end and very connected to each other, because they'd had to expose themselves at some level to each other. And again, working within this frame, they'd also had to think about what the audience sees, which for me is another one of the big kind of foundations of Commedia, is thinking about your audience. So yeah.
Was it a final show or demonstration or something? Or
Yeah.
You would never believe it, but we did it.
Nice. Is it possible to see it anywhere, or it's finished and done?
I think there's a little snippet, and there will be more that Chaim has put on the Scapino Facebook page.
Okay, good to know. Good to know, because now I'm curious. Okay, so guys, if you're curious to see the finale of this workshop, Chaim, what is his last name? I don't remember, but Scapino Company, they are from Israel, and they are a Commedia dell'Arte company in Israel. Check them out. I hope, Emanuele, that we might have him. We will hope to have him as a guest in the future. Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, Chiara, you had an anecdote with Christina.
Yes. So the anecdote is, you guys must remember my amazing teacher, Claudia Contin. And we talked about the fact from a few episodes ago that we kind of went back with nostalgia, remember our times, our happy times in Bologna when she was teaching and I was hosting her in my house all the time. Well, at that time I was attending DAMS, Discipline, Arte, Musica e Spettacolo, that is a branch of Italian Literature University, basically. And we were attending usually classes in this big auditorium in the center of Bologna. And I remember every time I would go to lesson, big auditorium with a nice theater, next to the door, there was another door. And in the other door, there was a theater school, a very famous and renowned theater school called Galante Garrone by the founder, Alessandra Garrone, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, exactly. And I remember students going in and out, and probably they remember us going in and out. E fumassi la sigaretta, forse una canna.
Magari.
Oh,
No,
figuriamoci.
Totally shit.
Comes out that Cristina must have been among those students, and we very likely crossed each other. But now, Cristina, tell us about some vague memory that you have in a workshop with Claudia Contini in Bologna.
Yes, I mean, I entered the drama school 1 year after I moved in Bologna, and the year before I just attended the Il Cimes, which was a part of the university that made practical theater instead of theoretical. And in there, I remember I was in Via Zamboni, I think, and I was in hunger of everything that I could do about theater, because I came from Sicily stuck doing nothing. I was 17 years old, so whatever, it's theater, I will do it. That was my thing.
Yes.
That was my plan. And I remember on 2 columns there was a workshop of Halloween theater that I really don't know what it is. And on the other side, there was Commedia dell'Arte workshop with Claudia Contin that I didn't know exactly what it was, but I liked the sound of the Commedia dell'Arte. Come on, it's beautiful. And so I choose that by chance. And there I'm really positive that you were there. I remember you.
If he was in the 90s, maybe mid 90s or late 90s, it must have been.
1995.
Was she suffering
For
so much?
sure. For sure, because we did a show, Le Furberie di Scapino by Molière, and that's when the Cimes invited Claudia Contin to teach us for the first time. Then they invited her again a few times, and then I went to Pordenone, we studied with her, but it was 95, so
Yeah.
it's positive, and I think I do remember you. Oh my God.
More or
That's
less.
sweet, very sweet.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the community, you can't escape once you're in.
I tried because I moved to the States 20 years ago, but
I moved I don't know how many countries.
but everything comes back, you see that's really, really cute.
And Cristina, so since you saw Chiara maybe suffering with Claudia Contin, and speaking of traveling, you travel a lot around the world with your self-written show. Let's talk about more Le 99 Fatiche di Arlecchino. So how it became your trademark.
Yeah, my way. I don't know. It's a mistake.
Always happens such as mistake.
I don't know. I think I don't know. I really, my first mistake was the Arlecchino part. I mean, I didn't have to perform Arlecchino. I had to do a Pantalone or a Zanni. But for a mistake, I decided that Arlecchino was easier. Whoa.
Didi.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
17 years old, stupid girl. Somebody should.
Okay, tell us something about the 99 Fatiche di Arlecchino. Did you write it? Is an original work?
Yeah, I think that what made me recognizable during the year, because it's very difficult to write fresh stuff for this kind of masks. And coming from, I've been a lot inspired, of course, by Italian culture. We are made of Commedia dell'Arte. The fact the modern Commedia dell'Arte for me makes no sense. Fantozzi is Commedia dell'Arte. We all know it. We already experienced that.
Yeah.
And so basically, from that kind of culture, I already know, which is the Arlecchino part. And then I spent my when I was a teenager, I was madly, and I still am madly in love with Terry Pratchett, Didi. And his irony, his imagination, his stuff. And so I took the death from him, which I found it in the classical Pulcinella puppetry Canovaccios, and just
wow.
Bello, bello.
But at that time, I didn't know I was doing something really archetypal that was going a little bit deeper. It was just not a show. So when I got my first debut in 1998, I was in Piemonte, Ivrea. We made no, and we were hidden because I was in school. It was illegal to perform while you were in school. So, and when we finished, I mean, my ego was okay. I already had good critics from the newspaper. I was 18 years old. I was performing something I had written, directed, made with all the improvisation and stuff. So I was okay. But while I was in the dressing room, a lady of approximately 50 years old came along to congrats. And she shook my hand and told me, "Thank you, because thanks to Arlecchino, I'm not afraid to die anymore." And on the spot, on the spot, I thought it was just a joke. You see the death there, I'm not afraid, blah, blah, blah. It was something easy, deep but easy. Then she went away. Then my colleague come around, the actress that performed Death, and she knew the lady because we were in her hometown performing, And so she told me, "I know that lady. She has a cancer."
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And I was 18 years old. And I used to say that this episode basically destroyed my career as an actress. And started my Arlecchino's course, because then I wanted to know more about what happened on stage that I was unaware. I had been a channel for what, and how does this work? Do I have a responsibility? What's this?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then after a lot of shows, you worked also with Ferruccio Soleri in Palermo, but also Franco Battiato, the songwriter and Sicilian singer, chose your Arlecchino for his documentary, Attraversando il Bardo. Chiara, do we have a video about
We
that?
do have a video. Pronto dalla regia? Pronto, sì.
Pronto? Prego,
Video,
la regia.
video. Wow. Notevole,
Arlecchino e la
notevole.
morte.
Yeah,
Bellissimo.
that's basically.
Infatti, guardate che c'è anche una bella foto, a beautiful photo with Battiato and Cristina as Arlecchino and the death, and maybe another.
Mine.
Who's that?
The guy on the left is a student of mine. He came along
Okay.
some technical stuff, and he was the one who asked for the photo. That makes me laugh so much. I love him there. Because in the official story, the death, Battiato is very spiritual. Well, then that's me and Arlecchino. But then there it's him looking at us like we were alien. And he's the owner of the photo.
Okay, grazie owner. Thank you for lending it to us. No, beautiful work. Congratulations, because I love Battiato. È un grande.
Brava Cristina.
Complimenti.
Chiara, abbiamo un altro video sul linguaggio.
Abbiamo un paio di altri video. We have a couple of other videos. So people, in the meantime, whoever is following us, feel free to ask questions in the comments. Today we don't have many comments, maybe because people are like taken aback from the importance of these guests. They are being shy. Yes, but we do have another video that is, we were talking a bit at the beginning. Well, I was talking at the beginning, as usual, about the fact that in Pazzi Lazzi we love, and we've posted, especially at the beginning of our Facebook career, let's say, a bunch of videos by Didi that she posted for the National Theatre of London on YouTube. These videos, my friends, are the best. No offense for all the other, including ours, practitioners.
You explained clearly.
Very explicative, very clear, that everybody, even a little kid of 5 years old, can understand. So one of them is this little clip about the language in Commedia dell'Arte. Let's take a look.
I had always liked that today, because when I married the husband, Jenna, I've never made a course about it's going to be raw, because you want to be going to write it, and otherwise I'm raw. All right, I'm finding it's going to be right, it's going to be right, yeah, what? This going to Grommelot is emotional babble speak. It makes absolutely no sense at all in language, but it sounds like language, and extraordinarily enough, people understand it. As a tool, it's a fantastic improvisation game to free the brain, because you do not have to use logic, you do not have to make sense, and you do not have to think or judge. You listen. It's the rhythm, it's the sound, it's like opera, it's on the breath, and it's really, really clear to the other actors. Using Grommelot meant that actors with different dialects could understand each other on stage, and of course the audience would understand the sense of the words.
Brown Dausteig, the Rimpost. Marikata Mulfaka. Down, down, down. I want to Rampas. Rampas.
It also meant that when companies toured to France and Spain and further afield, that the people watching the shows had an idea of what they were talking about if they didn't understand the actual words. But the thing that really, really irked the church was that because they weren't using real words and they were disseminators of ideas of the Renaissance, the church looked upon Commedia troupes as outlaws and people who spoke with the devil's tongue.
Wonderful.
Yes, yes.
Those two students were so expressive. So I actually almost understand what they said.
Yeah.
Even if mimicking of sounds.
Yeah, yeah. I just love the fact that you don't understand, but you know, it just sounds like different languages, and it's such a simple way to access the listening side of the brain and the music side of the brain, because although they were improvising, they were going, you get to the end of your breath, you have to have a new breath. In comes another idea. Or, you know, I think the first time I saw Commedia in Italy, it was in Italian. I had no idea what they were talking about, but because of the breath and because of the richness of emotions, I could understand. So it becomes this kind of bridge between, across languages, you know, Theatre Sans Frontières is really, it really gives people power to connect even without and before language. It's very pre-language. And I remember watching Dario Fo doing two things. One was talking about the Venetian gondoliers and the songs and the movement and the way that brings a kind of, you know, a modus vivendi and a way of living and a way of breathing and a way of talking. And then watching him do something similar, but with the English plumber. So he didn't speak English, but he became a plumber. And it's all about attitude and approach. And in fact, Cristina mentioned a little bit of this use of the body and use of the voice when we were working with our students this weekend.
Yeah, it reminds me another video that we posted online and it's viral on YouTube. I think it was American. The name is How English Sounds to Non-English Speakers. And at the beginning, when I saw this video, when I watched this video, and I said, "Oh my God, I don't understand English," but I realized that they were not
speaking, not saying anything,
any meaningful words. So with their gestures, I, as a spectator, I guessed the fake meaning.
Mm.
And by the way, there's a new video, you know, that went completely viral online. And I would like for Didi and Cristina, and of course Emanuele, but you know, Emanuele to give us some comments about this, and also the people that are following us, We have a bunch of friends saying fantastic, marvelous about the video. And also Jay Cross, ciao Jay, he's saying the Arlecchino and Death video was beautiful. Yes,
Thank you,
yes,
Jay.
yes. Yes, I agree. So for whoever is following us, feel free to ask questions to these wonderful ladies and the comments. But let's see this viral video that a father shot of his son. Well, probably was the mother that shot, but we'll see.
We need to work on that, right? Yes, okay. Did you understand it though? No. Okay. All right. Huh? Oh, not this one. This is the grand finale of it. Yeah, that's the last one. That's what I was wondering. I don't know what they're gonna do next season because they did some stuff this time. Exactly what I was thinking. Oh yeah. Right, don't bring that in. You know what I'm saying? Don't do the same stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I was thinking that. Yeah. Yeah. Like go somewhere else with that, but don't break here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's what I said. Then it was like, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, what in the world? But don't do it here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Really? I thought the same thing. We think a lot alike, huh? Oh, that's crazy. Right. We need to work on that, right?
That is so cute.
It is kind of a meta language, right, Didi or Christina?
Yeah, tell us something about it. We are curious to hear what you're thinking.
Christina.
Me first.
Yeah, why not?
Well, I love the body language of both, you know. The baby, apart from answering with proper timing, and logically to what his father was saying, he had, you know, he did like this, and then like this, and then like this, and then he went like this, and then talked. You know, it was perfect.
Like a colpo di maschera.
Yeah, I was reacting to that, given what we call il soggetto. You know, it's like, did you know? Did you understand? No.
Yeah, and Mary Ferraro. Hi, Mary. Ciao. Thank you for following us. She says they seem to understand each other. It's true. Did you notice that it looks like they're actually conversating? Huh?
But I mean, that's one of the gifts, isn't it? Because the dad is so natural and so generous that he gives the child space to be confident. And so the child isn't holding anything back because he's just given the space to improvise. And he's supporting it every step of the way. I mean, it is just genius. You know, the timing, as you say, Christina, it's like you couldn't write it, which is why Gromelot for students is so important, because that's what we've just seen. It kind of reconnects with the back brain of really listening and being. Magic.
Yeah, and it's funny that it's not in a drama school or in a theater workshop. It's just happened, right? Yeah.
Yes. So that sort of says that a lot of what we teach is about reconnecting people to what they used to do. Because actually, if you follow your instinct sometimes, and Christina and I and Chaim spoke a lot about instinct at the weekend, but if you listen back, you know, you've got everything. You don't need to think as much as you thought you might need to think, because it's already in us.
Right. And also there is the instinct of a child, meaning, I mean, I remember I saw an interview to Marcello Mastroianni, and he was saying, I love my job because it's like being a kid again, being a child again. Now, here we have an actual child, but the father is almost having the same language of a child. It feels like he has this childish nature of joking and having fun, right? Yeah, so beautiful, beautiful.
So you have around you some masks. So Cristina, Didi, Cristina, you have some masks behind you? Yeah. Who made
Emma,
them?
before we say people, folks, feel free to ask if you want to write really quickly any questions for Cristina and Didi, please do, because we are towards the end of our live event. I just want to say that next Wednesday we are on vacation.
Mhm.
So we are gonna do a week off, but then we'll come back again on August 19th with another wonderful, fabulous guest, Mario Pirovano,
Pirovano.
grande interprete di Dario Fo. Okay?
Mhm.
Yes, yes. So, my friends, shall we do a little bit of improv? And just so you know, this is completely improvised. So, forgive us if we are not.
Cristina, chi ha fatto quelle maschere dietro di te? Mi parlavi?
Le ha fatte John Finbar Ryan.
Che bella!
And Masquerade Studios is the name of the company which we're together with Petra Formbach, which is an adorable German lady from Berlin with magical hands.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
And Didi, you use masks made by whom?
By Ninian Kinnear Wilson. He and I met when we first met Carlo Boso, and we were working together for 30 years until, very sadly, he died about 6 years ago now. But I always use his masks.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Okay, so my friends, let's show us the masks, and as we usually, Emanuele and I say, surprise me with your mask, sorprendimi con la tua maschera.
We have a Befana. Ciao Befana. Ciao.
Ma non sono la Befana, vorrei che sono uno Zanni un po' scemo, molto patriottico però.
Io sono napolitano perché quello che lascia fare fa. Avimmo Ricciolina.
Tu hai detto tu che sei napoletano.
That is correct. I didn't go to school and they think
Yes, it's more clear now. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I only spoke a Serba.
I know. I've never done it now.
I thought we were fantastico.
Ma a Cristina venga in Napoli o in New York?
Io io vengo di Battipaglia, tanto per cominciare. Di mozzarella, capito bene? Capito? Guardo, c'hai una faccia strana. Ma lo state vedendo questo qua?
Sì. Ma io vedo anche quella là, la British, cara, si può sciuare,
Però io quello tengo qua.
I never conosco in Wimbledon or in London.
Yeah.
Hai ragione.
Ha ragione.
Ha ragione.
Ha ragione, stavo salutando, no, però è bellilla,
Bellella.
Very good job.
Grazie.
Oh, we have a question from Christopher. Ciao, Christopher. Christopher is asking, would you please speak more specifically about how breath is used in character development and performance? So I guess this might be a question for Didi.
Yeah, well, you know,
because this about the breath was very interesting.
Breath comes with life. Breath goes with death. So if you think it's your first line of choreography, how we govern our audience and how we govern our lives is through the breath. So I work a lot on really making the breath have its own kind of journey. On top of that comes emotion and gromelot and then words. But every character, because every shape is a slightly different shape, you know, Pantalone collapses the body, the doctor is quite broad. That shape influences the size of the lung and the way that they breathe, quite apart from how any individual emotion works. So I just spend a lot of time making the breath audible so people can hear how they use it, because that's our first tool as a technician.
That is awesome. So the breathing is expressive. The breath is expressive too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. But I never thought about it.
I mean, one of the things we did this weekend when we worked with our students is that, you know, if I go like this, you see, you do it too. So, you know, there's a way that we have to be very knowledgeable about our own emotions and breath so that we can use them, because our job is to take an audience on an invisible journey, an emotional journey. And we do that by, you know, just that's tiny, but it starts to be the punctuation of the story.
Fantastic. Thank you for the
Thank
little lesson. So, my friends, we have a lot of people that followed us. Ciao Federico, ciao Mary, ciao Christopher, Elena. Elena also was at the Cimes, Cristina. And she had a role in also in Le Furberie di Scapino with me. So she attended that workshop, that first ever workshop. So thank you all for following us. But a special thank to Cristina and Didi.
Grazie.
We are super happy that you guys participated. I really hope we will connect again soon. Who knows in life what can happen in the world? Maybe we will meet somewhere.
Maybe a festival
sometime.
online during another quarantine. I hope not during the quarantine, but
maybe we can do a workshop together.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Let's keep in touch, and everybody feel free to continue to comment. You can all see the video again over and over as much as you want. Yes, on the Facebook page. Okay.
Grazie.
Grazie.
Ciao. 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 Ciao.